So it does work pretty good. It's like a lot of media to clean this car up. We'll get it done. I'm gonna do the rest of it off camera. Putzing around again, working on my tail lights. As you can see, they look pretty nasty. Need to clean them up. I'll probably take the wire wheel to them. This one, the bolt is actually hanging loose in the car, so I gotta tap these down. I gotta put the bolt actually back in it and then tap it down. I'm gonna attempt to take these screws out and clean it up, and as you can see, this side broke, but I do have a new one, so I'm gonna look into putting a new one on and then polishing all of this up, cleaning it up with some 4-aught steel wool. So I'm gonna do this off camera. I'm just doing a quick video, show you the before, and then I'll show you the after. All right, well, here's my tail light backs, the backs of my tail lights. And I took them off. I was going to clean them up, but they were pretty heavily rusted up. I looked into getting new ones, and it would be $60 for both of them. So I decided, I remember I had muriatic acid, so that's what they're sitting in right now. And here's what I used. Clean strip muriatic acid. This is supposed to be for concrete, but it works on this metal. I got this at Lowe's Home Improvement, so it's been in there soaking for an hour and a half. So let's take one of them out and see. Now I don't have gloves, so I'm using a black plastic bag. So that cleaned it up really nicely, and so the rest of this I can clean off with a wire wheel. Oh yeah, much better. Let's check this one out. Oh yeah, just completely, well, I still got some rust on there to clean off, some dirt. But that'll clean up really nicely with some with a wire wheel. It was inside here I was concerned about, so I can hit some sandpaper and clean that up. But there we go. In the baking soda and water, let that neutralize. So I had it sitting in the muriatic acid for about an hour and a half. So we'll let that, I don't know, I guess sit in there for another hour and a half. Another hour. Long enough for it to all neutralize and get all cleaned up, because then I gotta take it out and dry it off and get it all primered, because if I don't primer it, it will rust back up very quickly. So, all right, so now I just gotta patiently wait. All right, everyone, putzing around my man cave. I want to do a video of how to assemble a shoebox taillight. This is a 49. I believe the 51s are different. So this is the back side of the taillight. I had to replace this with a carriage bolt. For some reason, this got ripped. The original bolt got ripped out, so I replaced it with the carriage bolt. You see it's a little crooked. And how I get this to hold in there is with Super Weld Extreme. This is JB Weld. I got a tube of this, and so I applied JB Weld on the inside of this, and that's how that carriage bolt is staying in one place. So as you can see, I went ahead and painted it. Got cleaned up and painted. This is the inside of the trunk, the color inside of the trunk. So we'll start off with this here. This is the the chrome piece that goes on the outside. As you can see, there is one screw hole here, two on the bottom. And here's your taillight lens. And this, as you can see, sits in like this. This has a lip right here that goes in between the two holes down below. And there's a little gap for the top one, and it just sits in like this. And then they have a pad for the inside, same thing. The bottom has piece right there for in between the bottom screw holes, and then the up top has the gap as well. So then you would place this on top again. You have the one screw hole up here, two on the bottom, and this sits in like this. And then you put the screws in. I wouldn't replace the screws for mine. They fit nice and perfect. Well, it's gonna give me difficulties right now. There we go. Of course. There we go. And now this piece goes on again. You have the one screw hole up top, two on the bottom, and those cover up your screws. On this, there's a little lip that goes on the outside. This will go up and over, excuse me. The lip goes up and over the taillight lens chrome piece. I'm not sure what it's called. And it sits in like that. Kind of like that. And then now, so hopefully that'll hold, the taillight bulb. Now as you can see right here, it has a spring. You press this down and it moves. So you slide this in here. This piece that moves has tabs, as you can see right here on the sides. These slide into here. You press down and then you twist it, and there you go. And then it holds in place. And then this slides into the back of the body. So there you go. 49 and 50 taillight assembly. All right, well, here they are. I just finished putting these taillights on. Got on both sides. I am very happy with this. Let's see if I can back up here a little bit. Look at that. All right, so I got my new grommet. I think on a previous video I said this was a gasket. This is called a grommet. This is a brand new one, and as you can see, this is the old one, and it's pretty trashed. So that's why I got a new one, got rid of that one. But I was thinking today how it'd be really fun to do something different with this. This goes right in that circle right there, the 4 holes. It's where you fill your gas up for the gas neck. So what I'm going to do is paint this. So I thought that'd be a little different from the other cars and definitely stand out. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and paint it. All right, this first coat, I think I might have went a little heavy. That's all right. So the color is Rust-Oleum Satin Red Apple. This is the same color I painted my wheels. so it'll match my wheels, so it'll look really cool. And then I'll have that stainless steel gas cap that'll go over it with the blue of the fender, so it'll stand out a little bit but look really cool, I think. So there we go. So I'll let that dry, and then I'll apply a second coat and call her good. All right. So I had to go ahead and fit this. So what I did is took a knife, cut a couple holes just to kind of get it started, and then you gotta put these on first. You slide them on. You slide this in first. There we go. Line these up properly. There we go. So this might be a little difficult. Alright, so let's get these on first. Put them in a little baggie. Let's see, 4. Oh, and lock. And they come with lock washers. I don't know if you can see that. Little lock washers. Alright, good enough. And let's slide this down. Why does this crap happen to me? Why can't it just go on nicely and smoothly and you stinking thing. Okay. Huh. So those don't go on properly. This gasket's not going on properly. Maybe I gotta do this differently. Take the lock washers off, don't lose them. Come on, come on. This is annoying. Okay. Maybe I gotta go like this first. Put this on first. Alright. Grab my screws. That is on there properly. It just won't be difficult. Why is this caving in? I just don't know. Alright, well, let's do that. Alright, let's get one screw in. Let's start there. All right, well, this isn't gonna work. Okay. Actually, I can't do that. Yeah, I can. All right. All right, well, there we go. So as you saw in the video, start with this first. So what I did is I took a wire wheel to the screws. So these are the original screws. So I was able to reuse those. Tighten this down first, and then slide your filler neck. As you saw, these were, once you try to thread them on, it would stop. So just, and I used a 3/8 ratchet wrench, and once it gets a certain, past a certain point, it will then start tightening up. So very, very happy about that. So gave me a little difficulties first, but it cleaned up a nice. Oh, very happy. One step closer to sealing this trunk off. So, oh, it looks so much nicer, so much cleaner. So, not quite finished yet. Then I knew the gas cap. What? Oh. I will add this too. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, let's close this up. If I'm able to. All right, get my stand out of here. Let's close this up. All right, now let's do a walk around. Quick update. Yeah, I really like that. Looks cool. Yeah, there it is. Ah, just gotta keep chipping away at it. There it is. Alright, a little update. Painting the gravel splash guard using the same steps. I did the self-etching primer, top coat primer, and now I'm doing the steps through for the painting. Same way I did the fenders and the roof. So, but thought I'd do a quick update. I accidentally goofed up. So right here, as you can see, there's 2 holes. And what those holes are for the splash gravel guard. And I accidentally filled them with filler because I didn't realize that that's what those holes were for. So if you're working on a shoebox and you want to put a gravel splash guard on yours, don't cover those holes up because it's for your guard. So I got cleaned out the filler and got them cleaned up. So I think what I'm going to do is when I get these screws, definitely for this other side, because of how big this hole is, I'm going to actually use a washer on the inside, and that way the screw doesn't go through. As far as the size of screws, I'm not sure yet. I'll have to go to the hardware store, and I believe they're the same screws as that go for these holes as well. So I'm kind of thinking about, I think I might do fasteners and screws for these, just to really get them in there nice, snug and fit. So kind of up in the air about that. So we'll see how much those fasteners cost. But that, just do a quick update. All right, well, I have my gravel splash guard, which is this piece right here, and it wraps around this side here. And that I accidentally filled in the holes for the screws, and so I had to cut the filler out. So let's see here, cut them out, and then what I did is I also added washers so the screws wouldn't come out. Take a look on the other side. There's the other 2. Now this side the holes were bigger, so which is the reason I added washers for the back of the screws. And then underneath, so here's the one that I just took out. There's 5, so altogether you're going to need 9 screws. These screws are a number 14 flathead, and they are 3/4 inch long, and they fit perfectly. Really nice and tight. Number 14, 3/4 inch, and you're gonna need 9 of them. And they fit perfectly. So I thought I'd make this quick video, show you what screws that are needed, and what screws I used for the splash/gravel guard. All right, been working on the back bumper, pretty well rusted up. I already started here, thought I'd make a quick video. Gotta clean all this up now. Had to use the cutting wheel, cut some bolts off. They were pretty well rusted up. These are pretty, gonna clean these up. Which side is which, right? We got the left. So, got lots of cleaning up to do. Show you how badly rusted up. Hopefully this is cold. Pretty bad. So now I gotta get some new bumper bolts. This is still, oh, that one's still hot. There we go. Yeah. Definitely need some new ones. So there. So yeah, so now I'm gonna take my grinder with the wire brush and start doing some cleaning. All right, well there is my front of my bumper. I actually took the wire wheel on my grinder and lightly took off the rust. I didn't show a before and after, but so now I'll have to get some chrome polish. It's pretty rough right here. Maybe I'll get some chrome paint. Some really rough spots. The back side cleaned up fairly decent. So there we go. So now I'm going to tape off the outside, wipe this down, and then paint it. All right, there it is. Got it all cleaned up. Used the grinder, used the wire wheel, wiped it down with acetone. Glad I did, because it was pretty nasty looking. Paper towels. And there it is. So maybe I'll do it some touch-ups here after I make this video. Beautiful. Looks so much nicer. All right, well now I'm gotta look into getting some chrome polish for the front and then clean up the brackets, which I'll do tomorrow. Running out of daytime. So all right, let's keep you updated. All right, like I mentioned before, I used my wire wheel very gently and just cleaned off the surface rust that was on my bumper. So now what I'm going to use is steel wool. I have steel wool here. I am using 4/0, 4 zeros. I am not sponsored by Steel Wool. They didn't send it to me to try out. This is what I bought. It's what I'm using. So now I'm going to polish this up as best as I can with the steel wool, and then hit certain areas some primer and paint. I had this laying around. This is just a universal chrome. I have used this before. It kind of comes out looking like aluminum, but it'll work for now. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is tapping the nuts that are attached to the frame, which are located right here. And then there's another one right there as well. I couldn't get bolts through these, which is telling me that those are pretty well rusted up. So what I have is a 1/2 inch tap, so hopefully I got the correct one. There's the handle for it. And then I have my Rapid Tap heavy duty cutting fluid 4 ounce. That will help with the tapping. So, all right, let's see if I can do this correctly. Okay, well, I ran into an issue with the handle. Come up here. I want to turn. The handle hits the bottom of the trunk. So, I'll have to set that aside. So I happen to have a socket that's designed for taps. I found the correct one, so I'm very happy about that. There we go. And then I couldn't find the smaller ratchet, so I had to get the big boy with an adapter. Put that on there. All right, so now let's get started. Hopefully this will work. All right, well, like the dumb butt that I am, I accidentally deleted me tapping this nut out. So, I don't know if you can see that. I got a bolt. I went and got a socket. Let's give it a try, see if it works. Seems like I threaded it incorrectly. That's because I did. Well, it's going in at an angle. Shoot. I did a very good job on that one. Wow. Oh, holy cow. Okay. Let me show you what I did wrong. Shoot. Well, I did that incorrectly. Oops. I thought maybe I was doing it at an angle. It was hard to see. Well, messed that up big time. Well, I'll just have to buy a shorter bolt, washer, lock nut. It's with the bumper bracket anyway, so probably just cut it off, but I don't know. Oh well, just work with what I have. Alright, so what I did is I straightened the tap out, tapped out the ends. I think what I'm going to do is use the same length bolts and just use another nut on this end with a washer and lock nut on the other side. And that should be plenty good. Alright, one down. One more to go on the driver's side. Okay, well that one went a lot easier, a lot smoother. I'm able to thread the bolt through, as you can see. This side is finished. So this one I won't need a nut, but this one, as you can see, well, you noticed that I threaded it in sideways, but this one I actually managed to get straight, so that side is good. Onto the passenger side. All right, well, I got these threaded through. I got the bolts in. Got the bracket, and it's not going anywhere. That's the passenger side. I still got to switch out this bolt here, but I have it threaded in, and it's this bracket. A little loose, but still not going anywhere. So I gotta fix that bolt there. Sticks out. As you can see, I don't know why I got those ones. So I just need to get a shorter one. So I'm gonna go and put the bumper back on. All right, got the bumper back on. As you can see, I have those ones. I left those because that is where the bumper guards go. You can see the line of where the bumper guards were previously. And I also fixed that bolt up there. And got that one. Oops, that's the wrong one. Got them all threaded through now. That one's a little short, but that one's through. Up right here. That was a little short, so these ones are, but it'll work. I also put anti-seize. You can see I got a little bit of anti-seize the bolts because of how rusted up it was. I need to take it off. I don't have issues. And then got some new bumper bolts. I had to cut the old ones off. It's so rusted up. And for some odd reason, these are a 17 millimeter. In case anyone was wondering. So I have one more because this car is just a little off. I got to tighten up this one in here. I couldn't fit a ratchet in that. Yeah, this car is just a little off, but I'll tighten that up and then I am done with the bumper and the brackets. Now I just gotta get the bumper guards. Wow, bumper guards left to put on. All right, back out on the car, hooking on the car again. These are my bumper guards. Got a little bit of rust in them, so I thought maybe I will try to clamp them up to my sawhorse and then let them sit in vinegar. So let's see if it works. Got a bit of a crack right here, so it won't hold very much. Well, let's give it a try. Okay, so far so good. They're not leaking, so that's a good sign. And again, let it sit for 3 days and see how well it works. And as far as the sides go, I can probably clean that off by hand or use my little handheld sandblaster. And then I have a tap, half-inch tap. I will tap those out. All right, see you in 3 days. Okay, well, it has been 4 days. I actually completely forgot about this. Got caught up with stuff around town. So let's empty these out and see what they look like. Well, it's kind of hard to see. I don't know if that actually helped or not. Whew. I think it might have, so. All right, well, put some water in it. So it did help a little bit, but I don't think quite got the results I wanted. That's okay. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, just don't think it really helped. So, interesting. Well, no, there's still quite a bit of rust in there. Maybe I'll use muriatic acid. Or maybe a sandblaster. Okay. Okay, just like I did with the vinegar, I got them all clamped up to my sawhorse. I got the acid sitting in there, so I'll give that about, I don't know, I'll check in about 3 hours and then see what it's looking like. Okay, it is day 3 now. Cleaned it up really nicely. It's still got some rust, so I'm gonna have to hand sand it. Looks like I'm gonna have to tap the threads, but still a little rough. But that down and right there in the center is looking really nice and clean. So all right, much better. I'm happy with that. Do a hand sand. So now I'll go take the hose, garden hose, and rinse them out and see if that'll help get rid of a little bit of this rust on the sides. So, and again, I gotta tap these threads as well. So hopefully I won't tap them sideways like I did my bumper. But there we go. There's day 3. Almost ready to put these back on the bumper. All right, well, I just emptied out the acid and these cleaned up beautifully. That's what I should have done the first time. So now what I'm going to do is add some baking soda. You can see in the bucket what baking soda does is neutralize the acid. Then add some water. Let's move this just a hair. There we go. Fill that up. So I said at the beginning 3 hours. I ended up letting this sit for 3 days. So now it's got, so now probably, I think that should be good. Then I'll let that sit with the baking soda in it for another 3 days to make sure it gets nice and neutralized. There we go. So let that sit and neutralize for another 3 days, and then I'll do a little hand sanding right here on the edges, and then I can primer and paint it. All right, everyone. So you can see it's kind of hard to tell. It rusted up on me again. It's in the sunlight. Even after I tried vinegar, then I tried muriatic acid, and I put it in the house, let it dry, and it rusted up on me again. So what I'm going to do, this is my 3rd attempt at getting rid of the rust, is do some sandblasting. So let's go ahead and get started. Kind of hard to see. All right, let's see if we can get a better view here. There we go. That'll do. A lot cleaner now. I should have just did this from the get-go. I wanted to try vinegar and then muriatic acid, but they both rusted up. So I just sandblasted, used that 80 grit glass bead that I bought. My little hand sandblaster. So next thing I'm going to do is thread these out. I have a 1/2 inch tap, so hopefully that's the right size. If not, they will be after I'm done. Rapid tap oil. Let's tap that one now. Okay, there we go. All right, next thing I will be doing, taping this off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start primering. Okay, I got my bumper guards all cleaned up, painted. I put some anti-seize inside there in the threads. And then I already have one on, which is right there. So how you put these on is right underneath, and it goes through the bumper bracket, as you can see right here. So you have your bumper bolts on one side, 2 on that side, and then the bolt here. So there we go, there's both of them on. I really like that look. I think just a little extra detail for the back end of a vehicle, as well as the front. Some people don't really like the way bumper guards look, but I do. I like the way it looks. So there we go. All right, I'm using 180 because that's the next up grit that I can find. All right, got the tail light in, and right here that looks so much better now. So now I gotta just primer and paint it up, and that little project will be finished. Let's see what it looks like underneath. That looks good too. That'll do.